When the program started at Tuskegee Army Airfield and at Moton Field for the blacks flying during World War II, the program was an experiment meant to fail.
The assessment of the Tuskegee Airmen, the 1925 Air War College study said that blacks could not handle aircraft, particularly in combat situations.
The implications of what took place here have to be looked at in the context of time.
Everything revolved around segregation.
The initial commander at Tuskegee Army Airfield was there, and there were very unfair practices going on base. The recreation center that everybody else used was not allowed to be used by the folks who were in the program. They were treated as second-class citizens even though they were in the military. When Noel Parrish took over as the commander, Noel Parrish abolished all those practices.
Segregation was still part of Tuskegee Army Airfield, but once he took over, he removed most of those barriers. In fact, I don't think any officers, white officers, were in the club because the black officers were accepted in the club. And so the white officers, I don't believe they even joined the club anymore for that reason.
The airmen speak in glowing terms when they talk about Noel Parrish. Some would tear up because Noel Parrish gave them the opportunity to prove themselves in the aviation program. Noel Parrish gave them the respect that was not the norm at that time.
This story is a relatively unknown Rice story. Noel Parrish came to Rice in 1924 as a freshman. He had been born in Kentucky in 1909. He was 15 years old when he got here. He graduated from high school in Alabama, Coleman County High School, so he was no stranger to segregation. He came to Rice in 1924, and his family moved here to Houston because his father was a minister in the Disciples of Christ and had been called to a church here in Houston. The Parrish graduated in 1928, couldn't immediately find a job, and found himself enlisted in the Army.
If you were an officer in the Army in World War II, what you wanted to do was see combat. That was the secret to rising in the military. And instead of that, they gave him what must have been the least desirable appointment in the Army Air Force. They sent him inside the United States to train a bunch of African Americans, which nobody else cared about. It was probably the worst possible assignment an Army Air Force officer could have got. He made something of that, and as I say, earned his place in history. Parrish
came back to Rice after he retired as a brigadier general to get his master's degree and PhD in modern American history here. He graduated with that PhD in 1968, exactly 40 years after he graduated with his bachelor's degree, and with a record of amazing accomplishment in between.
I can't exactly remember when General Parrish came to Rice. It was sometime in the 60s. I was a young professor. Well, I was in my 20s, and he looked like he was a fossil to me, though in fact he was in probably in his mid-50s. And he took the course. At that time, if you were a graduate student, you took some undergraduate courses, and there he was. I soon found out he was a general, and he's there with me and a bunch of 20-year-olds. And it worked great. The kids loved him. I had a great respect for him. We all called him General Parrish. I think he enjoyed that. So my recollections of him are vivid, really. All these years I remember him. Of course, anybody's going to remember a brigadier general who takes your class, but I remember him mainly because of his wry sense of humor and his general humanity.
He is regarded as someone who allowed the experiment to succeed based on its own merit and not fail because of outside pressures. That is the significance of what he did. He was so important to the Tuskegee Airmen in that, based on everything he had come up with in life, he wanted Americans to fight for America during the war.
I feel that these men knew that we were being trained to go over and fight. And we were fighting for our country. Our country. That was very, very important. The Tuskegee Airmen, beyond the shadow of a doubt, proved that they had the capabilities to do what many said we couldn't do.
He was given this opportunity. He took the initiative to do what was right for the nation. And because of that, the program was a success. The result now is that the highest award that a member of Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated can receive is the Noel Parrish Award. One award is given each year to an individual within the organization who is being recognized for their outstanding contribution and leadership toward preserving the heritage and legacy of the documented original Tuskegee Airmen. All that was started by a Rice graduate named Noel Parrish.